My name is Marcus, and I am the oldest of 3 brothers. Our story is one of pain, resilience, and the extraordinary power of belief and manifestation. It's a tale of how we, 3 young boys, used the power of our minds to change our father's heart and turn our family's life around. Growing up, life was anything but easy. Our father, once a loving and caring man, had turned into a monster because of alcohol. Each night, he would come home drunk, his temper flaring at the slightest provocation. We lived in constant fear of his wrath. My brothers, Thomas and Samuel, and I would often hide in our room, clutching each other tightly, praying that tonight would be different. But it rarely was. Our mother had passed away when Samuel was just a baby, and since then, our father had changed. He started drinking heavily, trying to drown his sorrows in alcohol. The man who used to read us bedtime stories and play catch with us became someone we barely recognized. The abuse was not just physical, it was emotional too. The words he hurled at us cut deeper than any slap or punch. We were too young to understand why he was like this, but old enough to feel the pain and the heartbreak. As the oldest, I felt a sense of responsibility to protect my younger brothers. I would often stand between them and our father, taking the brunt of his anger. But I was just a kid myself, powerless against a grown man. Our days were filled with anxiety and nights with nightmares. School was no refuge either. It was hard to concentrate on studies when your home life was in shambles. One evening, after a particularly brutal encounter, we sat huddled together in our room. Thomas, the middle one, had a black eye, and Samuel's cheek was swollen. My heart ached seeing them like this. I knew we couldn't go on like this, but I didn't know what to do. It was then that I remembered something I had read in a library book about the power of the mind and the concept of manifestation. The book talked about how our thoughts and beliefs could shape our reality. It seemed far-fetched, almost like magic, but at that moment I was willing to try anything. I explained the concept to Thomas and Samuel, who looked at me with wide, hopeful eyes. We decided to give it a try. What did we have to lose? Each night, before going to bed, we would sit in a circle, holding hands. We closed our eyes and imagined our father as he used to be, loving, kind, and sober. We visualized him coming home from work, greeting us with a smile, and spending time with us. We imagined him tucking us into bed, telling us stories, and waking up with us for a hearty breakfast. We tried to feel the emotions of those moments as if they were real, as if they were happening right then and there. We did this every night without fail. It became our little ritual, a glimmer of hope in the darkness of our lives. Sometimes it felt silly, and other times it felt powerful. But we persisted, holding on to the belief that things could change, that our Father could change. Months went by, and nothing seemed to happen. Our Father's behavior remained the same, and there were times when doubt crept into our minds. But we didn't stop. We couldn't afford to. We had to believe that our efforts would bear fruit. One night, something extraordinary happened. Our father came home, as usual, reeking of alcohol and anger. But instead of lashing out, he collapsed onto the couch, his face buried in his hands. We watched from the doorway, unsure of what to do. For a long time, he sat there, motionless. Then, to our astonishment, he started to cry. Deep, wrenching sobs that seemed to come from the depths of his soul. We had never seen our father cry before. It was as if the dam of his emotions had finally burst, releasing years of pain and guilt. Slowly, we approached him, not knowing what to expect. He looked up at us, his eyes red and swollen, and reached out his arms. Tentatively, we moved closer, and he pulled us into a tight embrace. "I'm sorry," he whispered, his voice choked with emotion. "I'm so sorry." We held on to him, tears streaming down our faces. It felt like a miracle. The man who had caused us so much pain was now holding us with such tenderness. We didn't understand what had brought about this change, but we were grateful for it. Over the next few days, our father began to open up to us. He told us about a dream he had that night. In the dream, he saw our mother, standing in a field of light. She looked at him with sadness and disappointment, and then spoke words that pierced his heart. She told him that he was destroying the family they had created, that his actions were hurting the very people he loved the most. She told him that it wasn't too late to change, to become the father we needed him to be. When he woke up, he felt a profound sense of shame and regret. He saw the impact of his actions on us, his children, and it broke him. He knew he had to change, for our sake and for his own. That was the turning point. He began attending AA meetings, seeking help to overcome his addiction. It wasn't an easy journey, and there were setbacks along the way. But he was determined, and we stood by him, supporting him every step of the way. The more he tried, the more we saw glimpses of the father we used to know. The anger and resentment started to fade, replaced by love and remorse. As he grew stronger, so did our bond as a family. We started doing things together again, going to the park, having movie nights, and even just talking. Slowly, the scars of the past began to heal. Our father became the man we had always hoped he could be, the man we had visualized during those long, dark nights. One day, while we were sitting together in the living room, he looked at us and said, "Thank you for not giving up on me. I don't deserve it, but I'm grateful for it. You boys saved me." It was then that I realized the true power of manifestation. It wasn't just about changing our reality, it was about changing our hearts and minds. By believing in the possibility of a better future, we had not only transformed our lives, but also helped our father find his way back to us. Our story is a testament to the power of love, belief, and resilience. We faced unimaginable hardships, but we never lost hope. Through the practice of manifestation, we found the strength to change our reality and heal our family. Today, we live in a home filled with love and laughter, a stark contrast to the fear and pain we once knew. And every night, before we go to bed, we hold hands and give thanks for the miracle that brought us back together. My name is Marcus, and this is the story of how my brothers and I used the power of manifestation to save our father and heal our family. It's a story of hope, forgiveness, and the incredible power within each of us to create the life we desire.